Save your roof, save your money. You're watching News 12 on your side.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12 First at 5.
As a nation comes to grips with another mass shooting, we're learning more about the 8 victims, including children as young as 3 years old.
But first, the verdict is in, and the jury finds former President Donald Trump did sexually abuse a woman in a department store. He will have to pay her $5 million. Now, this case stems from allegations by advice columnist E. Jean Carroll that he raped her in a dressing room in the mid-90s. Now, the jury decided Trump is not liable for rape in that civil lawsuit, but he is liable for sexual abuse and defamation. Attorneys for the former president did not call any witnesses, and Trump did not testify. They argued Carroll and 10 other witnesses for the prosecution were conspiring to tarnish his reputation. It only took the jury 3 hours to decide.
Republicans at the South Carolina State House are working against the clock to enact tighter abortion restrictions.
Today, for the first time in months, it seems a stalemate between the House and Senate could be dissipating. Our State House reporter Mary Green has the details.
Earlier this year, the House of Representatives passed an abortion ban from conception, and the Senate passed a 6-week ban. Last month, the ban from conception failed in the Senate, where it lacked enough support to pass it. On Tuesday, a House subcommittee took up the 6-week ban for the first time this year.
Abortion care is health care. Abortion is not health care.
The bill would ban most abortions in South Carolina after about 6 weeks. Before opponents argue, many women even know they're pregnant. It would allow limited exceptions to save the mother's life for sexual assault victims, and when the fetus has a fatal anomaly that would prevent it from surviving outside the womb. This basis is nearly identical to the former 6-week ban the state Supreme Court struck down in January, ruling it violates the state constitutional right to privacy. A Charleston woman who testified Tuesday spoke about her experience seeking an abortion out of state last summer, when the old 6-week ban was still in effect.
The Republican Party that I used to align with wanted less government, but these bills are total control. Why?
Jill Hartle says doctors diagnosed her baby with an anomaly that would require life support, but determined the anomaly wouldn't qualify for an exception to the abortion ban.
We live 5 minutes from MUSC, the best, fetal heart department in the country. They could give us advice what to do.
Some representatives questioned why they were taking up this 6-week ban when the state Supreme Court ruled the previous one unconstitutional.
This legislation isn't the same legislation that we passed. It has in it differences that make it a new piece of legislation and a different piece of legislation.
One of the attorneys who represented Planned Parenthood in the lawsuit against the struck-down ban disagrees.
Our Supreme Court has spoken that a 6-week limitation is an unreasonable invasion of a woman's right to privacy and will not be held constitutional.
The bill the House Judiciary Committee is considering advancing up to the floor for debate is foundationally the same as what the Senate passed earlier this year. But House members have made some extensive changes, so it remains to be seen if senators will be amenable to those or if they'll tie up negotiations even further. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
South Carolina's legislative session ends this Thursday. The governor might call lawmakers back to the State House next week to work to get a bill to him if they don't get it done by the end of this week.
Switching gears to weather norms tonight and a little bit cooler outlook in the rest of the week's forecast in just about 10 minutes.
All right, thank you, Riley. An update on the family where the wife was killed by a drunk driver just hours after their wedding. Family says the groom is now at home recovering. Initially, after the crash, he was listed in critical condition. Eric Hutchinson and his wife Samantha got married in Folly Beach less than 2 weeks ago before police say a woman hit their golf cart going 65 miles an hour. Eric and 2 others were severely injured. Samantha did not survive. Family says Eric has 2 broken legs, broken vertebrae, and brain bleeds. 25-year-old Jamie Kombrowski faces multiple charges in this case, including reckless homicide.
A live look at our flags we're we're supposed to be looking at our flags, but they're at half staff almost everywhere as President Biden making the order today to honor the 8 victims killed in the latest Texas mall mass shooting there. Today, we're learning more about those victims, among them 3 children. One boy, just 3 years old, a 6-year-old is in the hospital after losing both parents and his brother. 2 of the children were sisters. Witnesses still can't put into words what happened.
I want people to really and truly understand the depths of the depravity that occurred because it was a disastrous situation.
The 33-year-old gunman is dead. It's still not clear why he opened fire on the victims, but authorities say he made concerning social media posts and had tattoos with Nazi symbolism.
Bringing awareness to the growing epidemic in our country, fentanyl overdoses. According to the chief clinical officer at Serenity Behavioral Health, opioid deaths doubled from 2019 to 2021.
But it's not just about raising awareness, as News 12's Nick Veland explains. It's also about giving people hope.
Behind me was an opportunity to provide those in the community with proper resources. Now that everything's wrapped up, talks continue on the current state of fentanyl and opioids in our area and how to get those help. Leaders from the Richmond County Sheriff's Office, Burke County Sheriff's Office, Serenity Behavioral Services, and more gathered to talk resources from fentanyl test strips to how to use Narcan. After the event was over, they held an opioid task force meeting for law enforcement to be able to come forward and tell what they've been seeing and give advice for moving forward. For Timothy Stevens, he walked away from drugs and alcohol 10 years ago. He says since getting clean, he's been working to get those back on the right foot.
Making informed decisions of the multitude of all these people that are here with the different services sets them up for a better opportunity for success instead of getting them into a program that there's not a good fit for them.
Coming up all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we'll take a look at this opioid task force to see what they're doing to get those back on the right foot before it's too late. In Augusta, Nick Veland on your side.
Thanks for that, Nick. How long do people have to wait for what they're calling horrible living conditions to change? That's what Georgia Congressman Rick Allen is asking the owners of Bon Air Apartments and Augusta's Department of Housing and Urban Development. Our I-team has followed the issues at this complex for years, despite calls for renovations from city leaders and lawmakers. Now, on Friday, Allen sent a letter to the Department of Housing and Urban Development renewing calls for immediate action. In the letter, Allen wrote, "A housing issue of this magnitude has no easy answers, but Bon Air residents have waited too long for management to step up. It is beyond time for all partners to take action." Now, Allen says families living at Bon Air are dealing with rat and bedbug infestations, urine, gunshots, and safety issues. All issues we've also reported on in the area. Allen wrote up several questions and concerns he wants HUD to answer to by May 22nd.
A local organization is celebrating a major milestone. The Augusta Chinese Consolidated Benevolent Association is receiving a historical marker from the State of Georgia Historical Society for being the oldest Chinese organization. To celebrate, they're hosting a dedication service with speakers and traditional lion dancers. Leaders say it's a chance to shine a light on their culture and their traditions.
I'm a descendant of one of those early Chinese families. For me, it's very important that we continue to honor those early families and to teach our children and to teach the community. So,
the celebration is a free event next Friday. It's at their building on Walker Street from 11 to 1.
A suspect in a cold case investigation found dead in his jail cell. What authorities are saying? That's coming up next. Riley?
And we've been mostly dry so far this afternoon, but we are keeping an eye on a few thunderstorms now starting to pop across the region. Giving you an update on the full forecast just after the break.
Coming up all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we'll take a look at how that February frost impacted the peach harvest season.
First Community Bank, the bank behind your business.
It's Ram season right now here in Waynesboro. Big city selection, hometown prices. Up to $7,000 off or 1.9% APR. Take a short drive on Highway 25 and we'll save you time and money. Good to go Waynesboro.com.
If you're yet. Here's a full look at that 7-day forecast. We're going to cool off a little bit the next few days and then cranking up the heat again for the weekend.
An inmate charged in the brutal killing of a woman 30 years ago with her baby in the next room is dead.
53-year-old Robert Waters died over the weekend at the Beaufort County Detention Center days after being named the suspect in this decades-long cold case. Flynn Snyder has the details surrounding his death.
More than 30 years after police say 19-year-old Kathy Swartz was brutally murdered in her Michigan apartment, the man arrested in connection to her death has been found dead in a Beaufort County jail. Over the weekend, county officials say corrections officers found an inmate unresponsive in a cell during a routine check. Officials say the inmate was pronounced dead at the scene after officers tried to revive them. The Beaufort County Coroner's Office later confirmed the inmate to be 53-year-old Robert Waters. On May 1st, the Beaufort Police Department announced they assisted with arresting Waters for the murder of Swartz. Michigan police say in 1988, Swartz was stabbed multiple times after trying to fight off her attacker, all while her 9-month-old daughter was in the next room. After the arrest, the Three Rivers, Michigan police chief said, "While nothing can replace the loss of Kathy Swartz, we hope the identification and arrest of a suspect will bring some long-awaited closure to her family and friends." Now, following Waters' death, the department posting over the weekend that they are waiting for more results from the coroner's office before talking further about the case. In Beaufort, Assistant County Administrator of Public Safety John Robinson said in a statement, "The Beaufort County Detention Center takes the well-being of its inmates seriously. We are deeply saddened by this tragic event and have worked closely with SLED to determine the cause of the incident."
Beaufort County officials say they're providing grief counseling to the staff involved in this incident. SLED is leading this investigation. Well, it's almost that time of year when you may get on a boat and enjoy what the Southern Coast has to offer. Just ahead, we'll look at what you can do to keep you and the wildlife safe. Stick with us.
First alert, Tom.
Well, it's almost time for trips to the beach and enjoying the coast of Georgia and South Carolina. That sounds pretty good right now.
It sure does. Michael Romero shows us there are some things to keep in mind, though, to make sure you and the wildlife have the best possible summer.
The weather is warming up, and that means many of us will be ditching the land for the sea, and Georgia wildlife officials are encouraging everyone, especially those who own a boat, to be on the lookout for both sea turtles and manatees.
So yeah, this time of year is when we start to see increases in the numbers of both sea turtles and manatees. As the water warms up, animals, both species migrate, into the coastal waters of Georgia. It's important to know, though, that both manatees and sea turtles are in all of our waters, not just in the ocean. They can be found in the estuaries, in rivers, in tidal creeks. So they're not just limited to the ocean waters. It's between 80 and 90% of all manatees have some scars from interactions with vessels. A lot of our sea turtle strandings, dead sea turtles that we recover, the cause of death is vessel interaction. Really, the best thing to do is to obey posted, no wake signs. Keep a lookout. Have a good pair of sunglasses. And if you do see a manatee or a sea turtle, by all means, look at it and enjoy it, but keep a safe distance. We'd recommend something on the order of like 50 feet, so that's roughly like 5 manatee lengths. And keep your distance. That'll keep everybody safe and happy.
Some good advice there. Georgia wildlife officials say by following these rules, not only can you protect the animals, but you can also protect the people as well.
Well, it is Tuesday, which means we have our newest winner for the Plunkett Heating and Air Sunshade Giveaway. A big congratulations to Joanne Maroney Parker from Tignall, Georgia, up in Wilkes County. To get your own sunshade, just go to WRDW.com, click on contests, and you can enter your email right there. We are keeping an eye on a few pop-up thunderstorms across the area. This one we're currently keeping an eye on is right near downtown Edgefield in central Edgefield County, heading towards Aiken County. Now look at that forecast for you just after the break.
Biggest Mother's Day event ever.
All the things I feel inside when I see my mother's eyes. Love is always in her smile. There is no home like a mom.